America depends on trucks. Nearly everything inside our homes, businesses, hospitals, farms, factories, and grocery stores spent part of its journey on the back of a truck. Yet the men and women responsible for moving these goods are working inside an industry many Americans never truly see. An industry where professional drivers can spend weeks away from their families and still struggle to earn wages equal to their sacrifice. An industry where small carriers and owner-operators are expected to accept freight rates that may not even cover the cost of operating the truck. An industry where billions of dollars change hands, yet the people hauling the freight are frequently denied the information necessary to know whether they are being treated fairly. My name is John Eck, and today I want to introduce you to a growing national movement determined to confront these problems directly. It is called the American Fair Freight and Transportation Reform Act, better known as AFTRA. AFTRA is a comprehensive trucking reform proposal developed by professional driver and industry advocate David McCone through McCone Company, LLC. Its purpose is straightforward: restore fairness, transparency, accountability, and professional standards to American transportation. For decades, truck drivers have been called the backbone of America. But calling someone essential means very little if the system continues treating them as disposable. AFTRA begins with 4 foundational reforms. First, a mandatory minimum freight rate designed to ensure that carriers are not forced to transport freight below the realistic cost of safe operation. Second, a mandatory minimum rate to pay for professional truck drivers because a skilled worker responsible for an 80,000-pound vehicle and the safety of every family traveling beside it should be compensated like a professional. Third, complete financial transparency before a load is booked. The carrier should know what the shipper paid. The driver should know what the load generates. Every party whose compensation depends upon that transaction should be able to see the numbers before agreeing to the work, not days later, not after a dispute, before the load is booked. And fourth, broker compensation reform designed to ensure that the parties arranging freight are paid fairly without allowing hidden markups and unchecked percentages to consume the revenue needed to operate the truck and compensate the driver. AFTRA also addresses detention time, delayed payments, unpaid labor, anti-retaliation protections, enforcement, safety standards, foreign labor exploitation, and the gradual restoration of experience and professionalism throughout the industry. But this movement isn't built upon the idea that every broker is dishonest, every carrier is irresponsible, and every trucking company is exploiting its drivers. There are good people throughout transportation. The problem is that good people are working inside a system and often rewards the lowest price instead of the highest standard. AFTRA seeks to change the rules of that system. It seeks to protect responsible brokers from being undercut by dishonest competitors. It seeks to protect safe carriers from being forced to compete against companies willing to ignore maintenance, labor, and safety standards. And most importantly, it seeks to protect the professional driver whose lives, health, families, and futures are tied directly to the decisions being made throughout the freight transaction. This movement is being organized through McCone Company, LLC, but its success will not depend upon one company or one individual. It will depend on drivers, owner-operators, small carriers, brokers, mechanics, dispatchers, warehouse workers, farmers, manufacturers, consumers, and every American who understands that a stable transportation system is a matter of national importance. Now, for years, the trucking industry has been divided. Company drivers against owner-operators, carriers against brokers, experienced drivers against newcomers. One group blaming another while the larger system continues operating without meaningful reform. AFTRA offers another direction: organization instead of division, standards instead of exploitation, transparency instead of secrecy, and action instead of endless conversation. This will not happen overnight. Powerful organizations have spent decades influencing the regulations governing transportation. They are funded, they are organized, and they know exactly what they want from government. AFTRA's message is that the people who actually move America must become equally organized, equally informed, and equally determined. In the coming reports, we will examine the economics behind freight rates, driver compensation, broker transparency, detention pay, safety regulations, government oversight, and the forces shaping the future of American trucking. We will separate facts from talking points. We will ask difficult questions, and we will give the people working inside the industry a platform to tell the truth about what is happening on America's highways. My name, again, is John Eck. This is the American Fair Freight and Transportation Reform Act. And this is the beginning of a movement to take American trucking